Yalla Home
with Ella Schofield
and Big House.
And I'm live through till 8 o'clock tonight, 25 to 6. Nice having you with me. Hope it's gorgeous out there. It was certainly gorgeous when I was driving in. Okay, are you a smoker? It's a big question, isn't it? Are you a smoker? It's funny, the whole smoking thing. I grew up with two parents who both smoked, so I remember that very much being a thing. And I think, I don't know whether it affects all children like that, but for me, because I didn't want them smoking, because it used to make me feel sick as a kid. Actually, when it came to my turn to be a teenager, and of course it's available with friends, and you get to that age where it's around you, there wasn't one bit of me wanted to smoke. But that's just the reaction I had add to it. I had lots of friends who were like, yeah, because it looked cool and looked big, and the next thing you know, you're a smoking adult. Obviously, here we have all sorts of gorgeousness in terms of smoking. Some of the shisha, it just smells lovely, all the apple, different flavours and things like that. But today the UAE has come out and urged smokers to quit. And a lot of this is to do with COVID complications. And when COVID-19 first came out, you know, there were things that hit quite early on, and one of them was smoking. One of them was also, it seems to hate obesity. So people who were slightly overweight also seemed to succumb to COVID-19 even more. And so if you were fit, if you were healthy, if you don't smoke, that seemed to be better. It's not fair, is it? But today, this is a different way to take it. Of course, if Hass were here, he would be saying, hey, listen, let's just ban smoking. And that's where he sits on it. I suppose I sit in the middle. I sort of understand it. I don't smoke myself, but I understand that other people do and that they really love it. But you've now got governments going, guys, we need to cut down. You need to stop smoking. So they have urged all smokers and all users of tobacco products to quit and avoid serious health complications. This warning has come on from World Tobacco Day 2021, World No Tobacco Day, and it includes sort of the traditional, there's vaping, there's smoking, all of those kind of things. The World Health Organization has come out and just said, look, it is far better if you don't smoke. And at the moment, we need all the help we can get, because this virus is not under control yet. I mean, we are all taking these incredible vaccines, and certainly the UAE has been incredible. I think we're three-quarters of the way through the population, absolutely immense. However, if you can give yourself a leg up, it's the better. So the Ministry of Health and Prevention has said that they've shouldered its responsibility to support international efforts being made in this respect by joining the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. And they've announced a new National Committee for Tobacco Control, and are going to put a tax on tobacco and any derivative of it as well. So just so that you know, your bill is going to go up if you are a smoker. Bearing in mind that petrol's also gone up. So I think we're all feeling the pinch of the pandemic. But these new measures are the latest in a series of initiatives by the government to curtail tobacco use. There's 16 quit smoking clinics now in primary healthcare centres around the UAE. One of them is a mobile clinic. And the ministry has also developed a training programme for doctors because they want to provide services for smokers who want to give up and align with internationally approved treatments. So they're really, really throwing the book at it. If you want to quit, they're going to help you in any way possible. A recent national health survey, get this, showed a decline in the smoking rate among men and women in the UAE, and that's in the last year. And they're saying that's a testament to the success of its campaign. So if you think that if you are a smoker, you're more likely to go, this is happy, isn't it? I'm just saying, though, you're more likely to kind of hit all the horrible illnesses, the diabetes, and it can even affect actually mental health, which is quite interesting. That's what they're saying here. But just so that you know, there's going to be tax on tobacco. But on the flip side, if you want to give up, the UAE government is going to do everything they can. There are now clinics all around. You're going to start seeing it. Massive campaign. They will do anything they can to help you quit smoking. So there it is. And long may they go on being amazing. Keep it here. We're Yalla Home. I'm live through till 8, and it's Pulse 95.
Yalla Home
with Ella Schofield
and Big House.
Big House taking a well-earned rest for a couple of days. Anna Schofield live through till 8 o'clock on Yalla Home. Nice having you with me. Let's talk about the UAE holiday bookings surge. It's a very real thing, and I feel quite akin to this story because obviously I am the the UK Brit who arrived here and just went, this is incredible, I love it. And that was 10 years ago. Funnily enough, over the weekend, I was talking to somebody who'd been here 16 years, and we both have the same kind of passion for it. You know, I don't know how I would go back to the UK. Just the weather alone, nothing else. It's not having that big golden disc in the sky. I just love it so much. But funnily enough, if you talk to Haas, obviously, he's there going, please let it rain. Please, 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 let us have something else. But when you don't have the sun, you miss it terribly. So when I tell you that there's now been a huge holiday booking surge, I think this is quite ambitious on behalf of UK travellers. But the word on the street is that UK travellers are expecting the UAE to be green listed soon. And so flight reservations for the last week of August have more than doubled. Now, you know, I'm not saying that I'm close to anyone in power, but from what I have heard from maybe people who are a bit more well practiced and maybe experts in that field, they're saying that the red list situation, and of course the UAE has been put on the red list, which means anyone flying from the UAE into the UK at the moment has to go into mandatory quarantine. You're not even allowed to pick the hotel where you go. You are literally taken to the venue and dropped off and isolated. They supply your food and everything else. And that will also cost you a lot of money. It's something like 9,000 dirhams. It's nearly £2,000. It's a lot of money. So of course none of us can afford to do that. There's then a situation where people are trying to fly to different countries and then go in on an amber situation. But I mean, I wouldn't even bother doing that. So to hear that UK travellers are planning sort of these late summer holidays to the UAE is quite interesting. They've booked the hotels. So the UAE hotels here are saying, no, we've just had this huge surge. It's been wonderful. Flight bookings from the UK to the UAE have literally more than doubled for the last week of August. And this is from Travel Analyst Forward Keys. That's the group that have actually done and put these stats together. And they're talking about the fact that the UK has a green, amber and red set of categories. And that, you know, with trips like this, there is the quarantine in between. I really hope this is the case. I absolutely hope this is the case. I want us to be the country that is safe to travel, you know, and I want to be able to go and see my dad, who I haven't seen for nearly 2 years. And he's in his 80s. But at the moment, it's just not a good thing to do. So let's cross our fingers that everything will be lovely. But just so you know, if you're looking to get a staycay at the end of August here in the UAE, hotels are probably going to be full of Brits. Run for your lives, everyone. Run, run, run. It's Yalla Home, Anna Schofield live through till 8 here at Pulse 95.
Yalla Home
with Anna Schofield
and Big House.
Coming up to the sports headlines here, Anna Schofield live through till 8 at Yalla Home. But I saw this and I did laugh. Okay, when you see breaking news with a big yellow banner, and if it's on something as big as Sky News, I was just flicking through and I thought, oh, what's happened? Here's the headline. Hottest temperature of the year so far recorded as Britain enjoys the holiday sunshine. I was like, wow, okay, it's got really hot. Let's guess what the temperature is in the UK that they are breaking news about. This isn't war, this isn't famine, this isn't flood. This is breaking news in the UK. 24 degrees, people. It is 24 degrees. And literally everyone in the UK has gone, the sun is out, quick. And they are lying in parks, they are on the beaches, and they've gone for walks. They couldn't be happier. And then you wonder why we come here to the UAE. I rest my case. Keep it here. It's the sports headlines next on Pulse 95.
Yalla Home
with Anna Schofield
and Big House.
Here live through till 8 o'clock. Nice having you with me on Yalla Home. All right, so has anybody seen any kind of offers for being vaccinated around? They're cropping up. A friend of mine said the other day they couldn't believe it when they went into their gym and there was some sort of offer for people who are vaccinated. There was a discount on membership, and then someone else said that they were being offered free coffee if they were vaccinated. Really strange, this kind of let's give people who are vaccinated some sort of buy one, get one free kind of situation. And then I read this today and I thought, this is so interesting. Obviously, Australia has done quite a good job of keeping COVID-19 in line. At the very beginning, they literally shut their borders to international flights and went, right, we're not doing doing it. And they continued, I mean, there's such a big country anyway, but they continued to do internal flights. So I suppose, the airlines, they weren't making as much money as before, but at least they were still flying and you could still move around internally. I've also got friends in Australia who are saying we don't even wear masks. We literally are just fine. We walk around. They say it's just like a bubble. And if you go to Australia, you can go there, but you quarantine for 2 full weeks. They put you in a hotel, and it's that kind of, they put you where they want you. You don't get to choose. And they serve you food. And for 2 full weeks, you are quarantining without coming out, and they're very strict about it. And as a result, they've kept COVID-19 numbers down. So when you read something like this, you'll understand they actually want people to fly now. And you've got a situation where they've got a kind of a public who don't want to fly because they've been told not to. So they've taught people not to travel. So Qantas Airlines are now doing this special offer. They've got a mega prize being offered on their airline. Vaccinated travellers flying with Qantas could win a year's worth of free flights. This is according to the head of the airline. Her name's Joyce. She's the chief executive. And she basically told Australian TV last night that they plan to offer a range of incentives as a reward for passengers to get vaccinated. So this is, all you got to do is show that you're vaccinated and then you can win these rewards. They range from flight discounts, they range to frequent flyer points, or you can upgrade or get vouchers for future travel. So it's all sounding good. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, this is great, but what's the problem? Why are they having to encourage people to get vaccinated? And then I saw the numbers. They're in a situation where they only have 2% of the population vaccinated. 2% of the whole population. Now, if you think that the UAE's nearly done 3/4, even the UK has really done well. They've raced through because with a bit of a false start and lots of kind of criticism of not acting fast enough. When it came to the vaccine, they were all over it. So they're doing well as well. But 2% of Australia, 98% of Australia basically remains unvaccinated. But you've got a situation where no one's wearing masks and everyone's walking around in this kind of bubble. They don't really see it in the same way we do. If you think about, we face COVID-19 every time we step outside the house. I was walking in the mall the other day and I happened to not have my mask over my nose. Within seconds, security guard, can you put your mask on, please, madam? Very politely. And of course, I'm always like, oh, goodness, I'm sorry. But even that, I didn't have it over my nose and I was reminded to pull my mask up. It's really quite interesting. So it's very, very different. So they're trying to get everyone vaccinated. Apparently, there's a sprinkling of people who've had the first vaccination, but people aren't going back. And they've got 98% that aren't fully vaccinated. And then when you look into it, there are other airlines also operating like this. So apparently, United Airlines are doing it too, free flights kind of offer. So United Airlines announced It's Your Shot to Fly campaign last week. And this is in a bid to support sort of Joe Biden's national effort because he's obviously come out after Trump, who did absolutely nothing. Joe Biden's come in quite strong, go big, go home. He's come out, he's trying to encourage more people to get their COVID-19 vaccination. So now you've got members of the United's loyalty program uploading their vaccination records to the thing so that they can be entered in to win a round-trip flight for 2 in any class, any service, anywhere in the world. So that's what the American airline are doing as well. And these are government incentives. So I just think, watch out, because it's going to happen everywhere. There's a few things starting in the UAE. I definitely think, sadly, the vaccination is going to be the ticket to all sorts. Free goods, flights, and being able to travel globally. Watch this space. All right, let's have some more music. It's Yalla Home, Anna Schofield, live through till 8 tonight on Pulse 95.
Yalla Home
with Anna Schofield.
and Big House.
Just Anna Schofield till 8. I'm sorry. 4215 if you want to chat. Has taking a little holiday. All right, let's talk about tiaras. This is where girls go, why are we talking about tiaras? And blokes go, really? Stay with me, boys. There's a reason I'm talking about it. They're making a comeback. Who knew? Now, one of the things that I've been rocking since sort of halfway through the pandemic is the curtsy. Again, stay with me, because I've done it a few times when I'm out with friends, because there's that awkward thing now. You know, we can't shake hands and obviously I'm British, so I shake hands unless I'm with my Arab friends, and I would respect their way of doing things. But generally, I shake hands when I meet someone. And then there's that thing now where blokes are kind of worked it out. They all do the fist bump. And some girls do as well. And some blokes have offered their fist for me to bump, except that I'm me. A fist bump doesn't really work with my vibe. And so actually it just becomes comedic if I go, hey, yeah, let me fist bump you. I kind of look stupid. So a friend did it, actually, curtsied one day out of awkwardness, and I just thought, that's amazing. And every time I go, look, I'm bringing the curtsy back, and I do a good, English Queen's curtsy, it kind of gets a smile and it gives you something to do. And a couple of times as well, guy friends of mine have bowed. And that's even funnier because there needs to be something. When you say hello to someone, you don't want to just stand there awkwardly and go, hello. And then, you need to fill the gap. So if we're curtsying, I don't see any reason why we can't also be wearing tiaras. And apparently the fashion world feels this as well, because there's a new demand for them. If you're wondering what a tiara is, where have you been? No, but I'll forgive some boys for going, really, what's a tiara? It's a little diamante thing. It's normally got diamonds in it, but it sits on a girl's head. Princesses wear them. Do you know what I mean? Little tiaras, I'm sure you know. And they are the heart and soul of any dress up. I think that, sexist as it may sound, I did have a tiara in my dress up box when I was a little girl. I'm pretty sure that my little girl she had a couple. I'm pretty sure there's a photo of me wearing one of hers. But it is one of those things that's quite fun, wearing a tiara. Anyway, it turns out that because they're this crazy symbol of dressing up and fairy tales and heirlooms and things like that, that people are enjoying it more and more. There's also been a surge of it because of Bridgerton. So if you've watched the series Bridgerton, of which there is another series coming, I'm so excited. Everyone was wearing, the dog was even wearing a tiara in Bridgerton, like it was just standard day dress. They're completely irresistible, and they're now making modern versions. So obviously there are the big kind of expensive ones that you can get. There's loads. I mean, they go back hundreds and hundreds of years. If you historically go back to where tiaras come from, royal families have been wearing them for years. But you can actually get many kind of new ones, and there's even shops, column inches, reviews and shops completely devoted to tiaras now. And of course we've had royal weddings. Beatrice, Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, she's been wearing them. Kate Middleton wore one on her wedding day. I'm just trying to think if Meghan Markle wore one. I'm pretty sure she did. Anyway, everybody's talking about tiaras. So brace for impact, boys, because we could be with you in restaurants looking like we normally do, but we might actually arrive in a fairy tale diamante tiara. And we will be pleased with that. Stay with me, Anna Schofield, live through till 8 on Yellow Home.
Yellow Home
with Anna Schofield
and Big Hass.
Just Anna live through till 8 tonight. Hass having a few days off. It's already 22 minutes past 7. Can't believe it. I want to talk about the Shubak Festival 2021 that's happening in London. Amazing, actually. So it's a celebration of the Arab world. And obviously, as everything's kind of opening up, we've got this post-pandemic weirdness. And what they've said is that the artistic director, actually, of the festival has said you've got these opportunities to connect, share and explore. It's such a corporate kind of line, isn't it? But she is kind of right. And it's going to be different this year. This is something the 16th or the 17th festival. Just let me check. 16th. 16th festival they've had of this, the London Shubak Festival. And it's Arab contemporary art. That's what it is, a festival celebrating that. But this year, of course, is going to be different. So normally it would just be happening in the city and it would be happening all over. This year, they're going to do a hybrid model. So some of it's going to be in person and physical, but some of it's going to be virtual. And with the virtual comes the ability for them to kind of have a global audience. And so anyone can see the London Festival now, the London Shubak Festival. It's not just going to be if you're in London. The one thing I do, because that's where I grew up, the one thing I know about London is they do this really, really well. They do this stuff. And if you've ever been to the Jazz Cafe, I love it. And lots of the artists are actually playing there. The artistic director, again, said the programme transcends the borders of all previous editions because this is going to be a place of discovery, of meetings, call to action and contemplation, and we can reach everyone. So the world has actually become bigger. Just through being locked down, we all moved over to Zoom, and actually it's expanded things. It's interesting, isn't it? So it starts June the 30th. If I'm getting my dates right, June the 20th, sorry, and it goes right through till July the 27th, and it's going to be spread across various venues in the city. So if you are in London at this time, although I'm hearing a really sad headline today is that London's luxury stores are really hurting badly because they don't have the high spending tourists from this region, from the Gulf region. They want people in. It's hard, isn't it? But because curators and artists have had to think of new ways of collaborating and presenting their art, whether it be music or whatever it is, your version of art, that they've had to think outside the box. It's going to be really interesting this year. And of course, the National now is talking about it. We can all access it. And it runs right through till the end of June. Really, really exciting. I loved some of the look of it. Tickets, if you're going to London, are about $27, £18.50. But if you want details about this, go to shubak.co.uk, which is SHUBBAK, and go and have a look at the different. They've got poets, they've got an all-female lineup of spoken word at one point. They've got singers, rappers, DJs, the whole thing, and the whole bill is completely experimental and amazing. Hip-hop artists going to be in there. Where's Hassan? I need him. But it's just a lovely, lovely incentive going on in London this year, so check it out. Keep it here. I'm live through till 8. It's Yalla Home, of course, on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Yalla Home, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.